I went to college, graduated high school in 1980, went to college at UNC in Colorado, and I started out as a delivery driver for Domino's Pizza. And
Oh,
then
no way. You worked your way up from being a delivery driver to a franchise owner?
five stores.
Holy
Yep,
shit.
I did. It's definitely a proud achievement.
This city doesn't hand out respect. It watches. It waits. Then, when you've proven it, it remembers your name. And once it does, you don't need to talk loud. You just take your seat back here and tell the truth.
Thank you, sir.
No, you're very welcome, Tony. Good to be able to pick you up and have you join us today.
Love it. Love it. It's way better than all the driving I do. I do 40, 50,000 miles a year.
Oh, my goodness.
Now, when you cover the entire city, I'm doing anywhere from 5 to 10 stops a day at all the different job sites.
Wow. Well, you should hire me for minimum wage to drive you to all those places.
That is definitely a discussion that will not be a long discussion. The short answer is yes. But do you have a winch on this beautiful car?
I'll get one installed.
Okay.
You know, it does have a 5.0 V8.
On any given day, you never know what you're going to be due. So I always have to come prepared.
Right. Yeah. So speaking about any given day, not knowing what you're going to do, what do you do?
Well, I have 1,000 houses in Kansas City that I do all the make readies. And the make ready is a short version to make that house or apartment or townhome or condominium ready for the next tenant. So sometimes it's a tenant, sometimes they're selling the house, the owner. So my work is almost exclusively with investors from all around the world. I have owners from Japan, Australia, Israel, Germany, China, and I am now pretty into Hawaii. I've got 5 different investors that are part of a local Hawaiian group that are investing in Kansas City.
Oh, wow. So how do you get hooked up with people in China and Hawaii?
Well, word travels fast. I've been doing it for 20 plus years, and you start with one guy and then he tells a friend, and that friend has a friend in another state, and that friend has a friend in another country. And I've been doing business with a few people for 15 plus years and I've never met them. They just, they send the checks, they see the pictures. I utilize some technology that helps me keep them very, very well informed. We use a product called Company Cam, and I can have my guys, or I can download pictures on a daily basis, and they can see production, they can see befores and afters, they can comment on it. And of course, I'm on the phone all the time. I'm on the phone from 7 a.m. till 10 p.m. pretty much 7 days a week.
Wow.
Because I want to be there. I want to be the one-stop shop for these owners.
Yeah.
We pretty much do everything from foundation work to new roofs and everything in between.
Okay, so are you like a Class A general contractor?
Basically the same thing, with whatever needs to be done in a house. We won't necessarily, we're not going to tear down load-bearing walls and do all that and everything, because within the realm of what we do, there's no need to do that.
Gotcha.
Now, I say that, but I'm currently working on a house where the tenant accidentally drove through the garage doors, both of them, as well as didn't like the way she did it the first time, so she backed out and did it again.
Oh, it
And
was
so she got both doors, and she finalized it with driving and hitting the other car and almost went into the living room.
okay. So this probably wasn't an accident.
There may have been some adult beverages involved by that young lady.
Okay, all right. It wasn't like a scorned lover trying to wreak revenge.
Nope. So, we take care of accidents as well as just hoarders and everything in between. I mean, we've walked into houses where you can't walk in, and you start at the front door with a shovel and gloves.
Oh my goodness.
We just finished one in Belton that was over 200 trash bags and 4 trailer loads. You saw my trailer back where you picked me up, filled that 4 times.
Wow.
So, and then we get the luxury. I've got a couple of $750,000 homes, and we're walking in there and we're putting on our booties, and you wear the gloves and you wash your hands and clean them and sanitize them on a pretty regular basis, and you put up the plastic and you do everything you need to do. We don't do a lot of retail work, but we do have to go into some homes sometimes where there are current tenants when there's major problems or something.
Gotcha.
But 75% of the work we do, it's a vacated property.
Gotcha. All right. So you said you've been doing this for 20 years?
Yes.
So you started what, when you were 30?
Actually, it kind of goes back a little bit further. I own Domino's pizza franchises.
No way, for real?
Here in Kansas City. Yes.
Okay, Domino's.
I had 5 of them.
Okay. At one point they had my favorite pizza of all time.
Which one?
The spicy Hawaiian. They made the sauce with Tabasco sauce, and
my favorite pizza is that, but instead of tomato sauce, it's with barbecue sauce and jalapenos, pineapple, and pepperoni.
Yes. Dude, I used to eat one of those every day. I was out at a place called The Box in upstate New York for the military.
Nice.
And that was my go-to meal.
Fun.
Yeah. So you own Domino's.
And because of that, I built a lot of the stores. I had done Domino's for 25 years. I started out literally as a delivery driver, made my way up to a manager, then made it to supervisor. Then I was a franchise consultant. And then I got the opportunity to buy 2 stores, which I grew to 5 stores here in the Kansas City area, and remodeled all those stores. So kind of self-taught in this industry. And then I was blessed with a couple of really good friends that let me do some work. That would be my phone telling me.
Oh, okay. I that freaked me out there for a second.
They let me do some work for them, and they did similar things to what I do, but they did them pretty much one at a time.
Okay.
And so I got a little bit more experience on that, and it's just taken off. I was able to put 3 kids through college. I paid 1/3. The child paid 1/3, and the wife, the ex, paid 1/3. So everybody had a little bit of skin in the game. And those kids also worked for me over the summers, kind of what we were talking about before, where I would dedicate one house each summer, and all the kids would go in there and work in just that one house.
Gotcha.
So when I was doing my own thing with Domino's Pizza, after that, I thought I would retire, but that was kind of silly. So I worked as an apprentice for an electrician for a while here locally. And then I got in with Gateway, and Gateway selling computers. I was on the international business team, and I was selling stuff to Australia and Japan. And then I had California and New York at 2 different times for local territories. And so that gave me a little bit of some computer experience, which worked out really well when I owned my own business. So I could understand some of the technology that I would maybe be able to utilize in my own business. So that was pretty fun. Again, everything just kind of came together in a perfect world.
So wait, let's go back 1 second, because I was trying to figure out my phone. What got you out of
Domino's? I sold them. Papa John's came into town. They were spending as much on advertising as I was doing in sales.
Oh my goodness.
And they were flooding the market, flooding it. And they were recruiting managers paying triple what I was able to pay at that point in time. Now, Domino's is doing extremely well here in the Kansas City area. and I sold out thinking that might be a little nest egg and things, and didn't work out quite that way. I ended up being divorced, and I started all over again.
Oh, okay, yeah. So this is kind of a common thing among entrepreneurs,
Yep.
right?
Yep.
And to be honest, these days anybody in America, right?
Yeah, there was no prerequisites for that, you know.
Yeah. So how long have you been married?
Right now I've been with
No, the first time.
Oh, the first time with her 18 years, married 13 years. Right now I am going to Hawaii for my 20th anniversary.
Oh, congrats.
With my wife. So we've been together for 25 years.
Oh, wow.
So we leave next month for our 20th anniversary. We're taking a cruise to 4 islands.
Oh, sweet. All right. So do you think any of like selling out, like, did that have a big change in your guys' life? Did it like change identity? Like when you sold Domino's and you thought you were going to have this nest egg?
Yeah, it completely changed my life. I started over. I started with my vehicle, my clothes.
Well, before the divorce.
Oh, explain.
Before the divorce. So like sometimes, it's just interesting the things that cause relationships to go through changes and evolutions, right?
Right.
And so did you selling your Domino's franchises and and like retirement, do you feel that had any impact on your marriage? Do you think your marriage was already done at that point?
No, the marriage was pretty much done prior to that.
Was it? I mean, now you said you're on the phone from 7 a.m. to 10 p.m. I would imagine running Domino's franchises is
it's very similar. But I have an extremely supportive wife right now.
Okay.
That is very in tune. We talk every day about my business. She's a partner with me and fully supports me. Whereas the previous relationship was not so much a partnership.
Okay, so when you were dating and you were thinking of, you had come out of this this marriage where you owned these Domino's and you didn't have a supportive spouse, like did you kind of gain from that an idea of what to look for?
So
is
funny
this
you
luck
say
that you got a woman that's supportive? Like
I had a top 10 list and what I wanted in my next marriage because I wanted to be married. I love being married.
Okay.
And so I literally wrote down my top 10 things, put it in my wallet. And if I was dating somebody, within a very short period of time, I knew whether they had marriage material.
Okay.
And so this.
So for people who are entrepreneurs or think about becoming an entrepreneur, starting their own business, or people who are in the middle of marriage and they are already an entrepreneur, do you recall these 10 things? Is there like advice or like what people should look for in a relationship?
Mine might be kind of unique to me. And that would be something to the effect of one of the things that was very important to me is the next woman had to have kids and had to be previously divorced.
Oh,
because if you don't have kids and you're not previously divorced, you have no concept of what it's like to deal with an ex.
Yeah.
And so that level of understanding and communications that partners have with exes, I wanted that person to have kids that were relatively close to my kids' age. I didn't want to date somebody that had 20-year-old kids, 17-year-old kids, and I've got a 5 and a 6-year-old kid.
Yeah.
So I wanted them to be compatible because I wanted those kids to blend. And our kids did fantastic blending because they were very close.
Yeah, that's wild to me that you thought of that ahead of time. Because just about every guy I know, when they go through a divorce, the last thing they want to do is connect with somebody that has kids.
Yeah, no, because I had such a strong desire to be part of my kids' life.
Yeah.
I wanted to make sure that my potential partner would have that. Okay. And I wanted my potential partner's ex to be a strong part of their child's life. Because I didn't adopt my son, but he calls me dad all the time. I don't, he calls me Tony all the time as well, but he treats me like a dad.
Yeah.
And it nothing takes away from his dad.
Yeah.
And I encourage that and support that relationship.
And you knew that back then. Like this is what
that was an absolute. That was a requirement.
That is wild to me. That shows like a level of forethought and intelligence I don't know that I've come across.
Well, thank you.
Yeah.
Thank you.
Yeah. So what about requirements in regards to knowing that? So, I mean, you strike me as the guy who it wouldn't matter what you did. You're going to work from 7 in the morning to 10 at night. If you did it for Domino's, pizza places, you do it for construction, you could, if you want to you could change your lifestyle to not be on the phone from 7 to 10. So you choose to do that. You pride yourself, like you said, being accessible, right? I think that's the word. I'm not sure.
Absolutely. No, if you don't answer the phone, somebody else will.
Yeah. So a lot of women, like I grew up with my dad, and if he ever had to take a work call, he was in the doghouse. Like that time was their time. So how did you know what to look for in a woman when it came to you and your work ethic and the schedule you like to keep and the entrepreneurial spirit that you carry with you?
You've got to make time for the woman, me time. To be honest with you, one of the first things we did in the beginning of our relationship is we took a road trip. And on that road trip, we read a book called The 5 Love Languages by Gary Chapman.
Yep.
And as I was driving, she would read a couple, 3, 4 chapters, and then we'd switch and she'd drive and I'd read some. And we would discuss, those 5 languages and you learn what are the go-to things, words of affirmation, gifts, acts of service, all those different languages, just because what's important to me may not be important to the partner.
Yep.
And you've got to learn how to recognize that. Because if you don't recognize it within your partner, it's going to fail. It's bound to happen.
Yeah. Now, did you carry any of what you learned from the 5 love languages over to how to work with clients?
Yes. Funny timing is I picked up a new acronym. I have 2, one for my employees and the other for dealing with clients.
Okay.
So when a client calls up and say they have this issue, that issue, this issue, or if something didn't go right within the scope of work, either we did or what somebody else does. We do a lot of rework for owners that maybe came across me because they found we do very, very quality work. And so within that, we do what's called LVLL, which is listen to what the client has to say. Try not to interrupt. Try not to finish their sentences for them.
Yeah, that's hard.
Validate what their concerns are and say, yes, I get where you're coming from. I wouldn't want that. And me as an owner of property as well, I always tell my investors, I'm an owner as well. I treat your money like my money. I don't want somebody wasting my money or spending it needlessly. And so after you validate their concerns, you learn what they want out of the situation. And again, listen to them. And after you've absorbed all that, like a big sponge, you lead them. You lead them to a solution that they've already bought into. There's nothing heroic or special about what you're doing. You're just listening to what the client wants and needs, and then always coming up with a solution.
Yeah. So listen, validate, learn, and lead.
Absolutely.
I love that. LVLL.
And I'm going to give credit where credit is due. And that is Colin from Amalfi Jets. He is the CEO of a private jet company. Okay. He's on TikTok all over the place. And there's certain things that are kind of hokey. But when he talks about problems within his particular industry, and he applies that acronym to it, you can literally see on his conversations when he's on the phone with the client, where he is going through that process step by step by step. Now, the client on the other end of the phone doesn't know what he's doing, but once he has put that out there, LVLL, and you're attuned to that, you're listening to it, and he does it with every single problem.
Wow. Now,
every one of them.
Do you level your wife when you're in conversations with her?
I'm working LVLL. On that. It's a newly acquired acronym that I'm fine tuning, and she is the toughest one. The toughest one. I go broke with my wife when I work around the house because I don't get paid.
No,
You know?
no, you don't.
But my wife says, you love your house, don't you? I said, yes, dear. Yes, dear.
That's awesome. That's awesome. All right. So you said you have two acronyms,
Yeah,
one for client dealings and one for employees. What's the one for employees?
The one for employees is what's called the 6 Ps.
Okay.
And that one is proper planning prevents piss poor performance.
Yeah.
Because if I don't help them plan out the day, I usually give written instructions, either via text or via notes at the job site.
Okay.
And then I follow up with them. But if I don't tell them what needs to be done, in a perfect world, I'd love to be able to say, make this place ready.
Yeah.
But that's not a reality.
No.
You know, if I was doing it all by myself, which don't get me wrong, I did it for 10 years all by myself, but I still wrote notes down of all the different tasks that needed to be done. And then my expectation is you check them off. I carried that forward when I have 12 employees now. When I walk into a job site, I'd like to see some things checked off.
Yeah.
Those are your accolades. I want to pat you on the back for job well done. Those littles make a big difference in the esteem of your employees. You can't just come in and say, so you worked for 4 hours. What'd you get done? You only got 2 things done. And I just did that today. And I found myself frustrated with myself.
Gotcha.
Because I needed to make sure that they understand their expectation was higher, that you're going to get more than just 2 things done.
Yeah.
But then when you dialogue it out a little bit further and you find out the challenges along the way, you're like, okay, I get that. Let's work harder tomorrow so we can make smarter decisions.
Gotcha.
That's my third one. Bad decisions make great stories. So I am the king of that.
Yeah. No good story.
I try not to do that at work, but you know, in the playtime.
Yeah. So I'm guessing you work with all highly skilled employees that come from, places like J.E. Dunn and
absolutely not.
No.
And if the camera's catching this, the head's going, yes, that's the dream world. No, in this industry, it takes a certain mindset to work in the conditions that we work in. This is not a clean, it's not like a mechanic shop where everything's nice and clean or you get to clean up at the end of the day and go home and you got nice clean floors and all your tools are in one place. We go from house to house to house and we carry everything with us. And so it takes a unique attitude and mentality. And more so, you've got to have some cross training. We do everything from full interior paint, including walls, trim, and windows and ceilings, knockdown textures on ceilings. So that requires a special skill set. Not everybody can scrape a ceiling, spray a knockdown on it, knock it down, and make it look good. There's been many that have tried, and I've had to reteach a lot of them. Painting, we don't use tape. Yeah, I don't have the.
And I heard you only use paintbrushes.
Yeah, so that would be my son. That would have been the house that was dedicated for one job. Luckily, they didn't really pay much by the hour, but it was an 8-hour closet. So if my son ever hears this, hey, Tanner, glory to you.
You just threw your name out there, Tanner.
Yeah.
Yeah. Now, you told me that all your employees carry a special tool that I was kind of surprised about. So just to put the environment that you work in perspective.
I wouldn't use the word all.
No,
many
of your employees carry a special tool that I used to carry in my former line of work.
Yeah. We have been in situations where an eviction has occurred and the evicted person, and we're in the middle of cleaning out, doing a complete clean out.
Yeah.
That individual person maybe came back and we were all clear to do it. And
they're not happy.
They're not out of well, they came back.
Yeah.
And so we're in some downtown, midtown areas.
Okay.
Some Ruskin that's a little rougher at times, and the Independence in Kansas City, Kansas.
Gotcha.
I mean, it is what it is. If you live in the area, you know where those areas are.
Yeah.
But we don't get to pick and choose where the work is, to be honest with you.
Yeah. So how do you go about hiring for a job like that? Like, where do you like? So one of the most common themes in the conversations that I have, right, is just about anybody that owns a business is all the same problems. They're just slightly different.
Right.
Yours might be the most unique I've heard when talking about employees and hiring, the environment that they work in.
Some of the things that I do in the very, very beginning is, you have a vehicle. Okay, great. That's number one. I don't want you coming to work on the bus.
Gotcha.
You don't have a car, you're not going to work for us.
Okay.
Number two, you have a driver's license, you have insurance, you have a truck. The truck is really great because then you can pick up a 4x8 sheet of wood or a door or whatever, because we replace all that. We do a lot of that kind of stuff. And then I will literally say how much you want to make per hour.
Okay. And
then I will go through, I have an entire checklist that is almost memorized at this point after 20 plus years of going through, okay, at any level, at this $20, $25, $30 an hour level, this is what you need to be able to do.
Oh, that's cool.
And so if you can't do some of the bare bones basics, like switch out an outlet, if you can't climb a ladder and clean out a gutter, you know.
And so you know, based on, so when they tell, so this strikes me as really interesting right here, right? So you ask them what they want to make per hour, they tell you. Then you go through the criteria of somebody at that point.
Yes.
Right. And they then are able to go, okay, well, I'm probably not worth that.
Right.
But I can't do that and that. So what then?
Then we negotiate. Exactly. I tell them, with these skills, this is the range that I pay with. I'm not going to start you out at the top of that range because I want to make sure you show up.
Yeah.
Biggest challenge with new hires is the first 30 days. I'll know whether you're going to work worth a darn or not. If you're already asking for a cash advance within the first 30 days, if you're not making it to work, and I have to be very careful on my work times because a lot of the communities that we're in, I don't want to deal with the school buses. I don't want to deal with the traffic going into Home Depot and Lowe's at the height of the rush.
Yeah.
I put a lot of thought into that because I would rather them work a little bit later. And I'm not an early morning person. My scheduled work hours, and this is going to come across very unique for any of the interviews that you might have previously done, is I expect you to work from 10 to 6. It's an 8-hour day.
Okay.
That way you can get to Home Depot. If you'd like to go to Home Depot beforehand and clock in there, perfect. But you're not hitting that really, really early rush.
You're going to burn hours of your work time.
Yes. You're just sitting there in the vehicle.
Yeah.
So, and then I utilize a little bit of technology, Life 360. My guys are on there at any moment in time. I can see where they're at, if they're on the job site, if they're at Home Depot, how long they've been at Home Depot. You know, I try not to overmanage it, but if you're at Home Depot for 2.5 hours, we're going to chat a little bit, you know?
Right.
And you know, if you have a legitimate reason, like, they're pulling up back stock for all the appliances and you picked up 17 cabinets. Okay. But if you went there for some small plumbing appliances, you either don't know what you're doing or what you're looking for. And that's a phone call to me. I am 24/7 accessible to my investors and my employees.
Yeah. So how do you train your employees to actually ask questions? Because I think that's one of the hardest things to do, is to get people to, instead of wasting time.
Very, very
and then there's
good
a balance between it, because then you have people that do nothing but ask questions. They never make an attempt to figure something out on their own.
I get to the point where the first question I ask, when they call me, hey, Home Depot doesn't have that. Okay, does Home Depot not have it? Or is it not on the shelf, or you can't find it? Because there's 3 different answers there. They don't have it and it's not on the shelf. Did you ask?
Okay.
Because if they say no, or if they say yes, then I have Home Depot app on my phone.
Yeah, and you just pull it
What
up
store are you at?
Yeah.
I'm at South Kansas City. Boom. It says they have 27 of them in stock. Now, if it says they have 2, you know, okay,
you might not
that counts off. So I call them out on that, not to call them out, but they've learned that over time they better ask questions.
Yeah, they better.
Not after 2 hours, you know, a reasonable amount of time.
Yeah.
So yeah, they have learned working for me. And I've always said this to my kids and to all my employees. If you can work for me, you can work for any boss in the world because I'm going to be firm, fair, and honest with you.
I like that. Firm, fair, and honest, right?
Yep.
So you also do something else kind of unique. You employ a couple homeless people, right?
They weren't my choice. Yes, I do. I do.
And how does that work? Like, how did that even happen?
Well,
you said not by choice. So
the
government forced you to hire them, or what? What's
no,
the Build Back Better Act got passed, and you had to start hiring homeless people?
Nope. The opportunity. How do I want to say this? They were living from place to place to place, including their car.
Okay.
I was introduced to them through another current employee and said, hey, can they come and help me? So I hired them initially, like $10 an hour, to just come in and clean out. Okay. I didn't have anything else.
Yeah.
They have now been with me for 3 years.
Holy cow.
And I've helped them with vehicles. They now own their own vehicles.
Okay.
They own a home they have a farm with goats and other things down in Fort Scott. It's semi-livable. It's out in the farm area down there. Nothing to write home about.
Gotcha.
But they don't want to drive down there. There's no work down there of any magnitude. Because they are very, very hard workers. They'll work 45, 50, 60 hours a week. No problem at all. They'll work plenty of hours because they want to get things done. And they've graduated from the basic cleanouts.
Yeah.
Now they're doing full interior paints. They're also my go-to people. I have a number of properties in the less than stellar areas that have been broken into multiple times.
This is what
I've got a particular property downtown Kansas City, Missouri, that's a sixplex, and it was ready to go, but they were waiting on some specifics with advertising and a gentleman getting married and having a baby and the whole 9 yards. And so it was a complete distraction for him. And he left it alone for a couple of months.
Okay.
Well, in that couple of months, somebody broke in and stole all the electrical, all the plumbing, just massive tens of thousands of dollars worth of damage inside the place. So we went in, resecured the property, and he asked, do you have anybody that could stay in the property? I said, well, matter of fact, I do. I've got a husband-wife couple. They've been married for 35 years. They're a little bit older, and they go from property to property to property. They stay there for free. They work their normal hours. If you're not ready for the work to be performed, they sleep in an air mattress. They got a couple basic things, and then they'll go to my other job sites. But at nighttime, where most of this riffraff breaks in, that's when they come in. And he carries with him, but just having the presence of somebody in the home and the lights on and they can see people moving around.
That solves most of the problems.
I have been able to provide a functionality that's a win-win for everybody.
Yeah, that's huge, man.
So, and there's a high level of trust involved in this. And it's my investors, not every investor, but for the ones that have the need, it's been a godsend for them.
Yeah, I just think that is like one of the coolest stories I've ever heard right there. Like, just to be able to, like, the synergy of being able to provide, a couple like that.
Yep.
Somewhere probably better to live than where they're living.
Oh, well, yeah, because their alternative is they would have to drive a 2-hour drive south to come back. And so it helps me. I win out of it because I get access to
and your investors
a worker that is nice and handy.
Yeah. Yeah, that is freaking cool. All right. So we're about to pull up. We're going to pop into Martin City Brewery. Do you drink?
Sure.
All right. We'll snag a drink and then we'll resume this conversation.
Sounds like a winner. Martin City is a mainstay of this area here, the
Yeah,
brewery.
well, we're actually in Martin City itself, and this is one of my favorite places. So, although I don't know where it's trying to take me.
Any of this parking in the back, they're cool with.
All right, sweet. All right, Tony, now that we got you boozed up a little bit, comes the hard-hitting questions.
Let's do it.
Having started over 20 years ago,
25.
have you, did you do anything different this go around to guard against that scenario occurring again?
Yeah, my top 10 list made sure that she had 9 out of 10 of them, because one of them that wasn't on the list, I didn't even know was an option reality, and that is, can you cook? And my wife, Dana, does not like to cook. Luckily,
Okay.
I come from a family of cooks. And so with my Italian heritage, I love to cook. And so wasn't that big a deal. But out of those top 10 things, that was not one of the things that was on there. So she checked the boxes on all other items, 9 out of those 10s. Like I mentioned before, she was divorced. She had a child, so she understood that whole relationship that was important to me to deal with an ex.
Okay, and so you weren't worried about possibly ending up divorced again and losing all your money again?
Nope.
That seems, how's that even possible? Because usually when something happens to somebody once,
we planned
they're
everything.
more aware that it's possible.
Yeah, we just did everything together, and we made decisions together.
Okay.
I wasn't selfish in any way, shape, or form with my money, and it was our money. And I just, we have very, very good. I don't know that we've ever really even fought, to be honest with you.
Yeah,
we're just extremely compatible.
So I love hearing that, because one of the craziest things people tell me is, you don't have a good marriage unless you're fighting. I'm like, are you kidding me? Like, I don't understand fighting ever for anything.
I mean, we are, it may sound
like you can like we should be able to, as two rational adults, talk things through.
Like she calls me out. Don't get me wrong.
No, yeah, absolutely. That should be part of it. You want a good woman to do that, right?
Absolutely. But here's the difference.
But it doesn't have to be.
She'll call me out in privacy. She does not call me out in front of family and friends.
Okay.
And that is something that was the nemesis of me previously. That was one of the big things that didn't make the relationship work. And I ended up just being a completely different person that I'm not proud of. She brought out the worst of me in a lot of things. And so this one, she is very complimentary to me.
Okay.
And when she's not, when there needs to be something discussed,
it's done in private.
We do it in private.
I like that.
And one of the things
do you afford her the same as, do you ever call her out?
No, that's not part of my personality.
Okay.
I just, no.
And you don't feel like a relationship where one person calls the other one out and the other doesn't is unbalanced?
No, because there's other things that balance it out. Just because you both don't do something doesn't mean you're unbalanced.
Okay, I agree with that.
We balance each other because I love to go four-wheeling. I've got multiple different friends. I've got friends that I go four-wheeling with. I've got my lake crew. I've got my Chiefs crew and the Super Bowl crew, which all mix together and they all come to the house for the Super Bowl.
All right.
But I have a lot of different types of friends. And so she has a few of her girlfriends, and we do things sometimes separately. And it's great because then we each have our own me space.
Yeah, I think that's important too, right?
Very much so. Very much so. She probably goes out with her girlfriends more than I go out with my guy friends, but then she also supports me with my 4-wheel drive endeavors.
Yeah.
And she'll go on trips with me. We'll get crazy and do crazy things on the 4-wheel drive trips. And we got great memories from all those.
That's awesome. So what do you think has been the hardest part in your current relationship owning your business? Like, how has that impacted you in a negative way? And what have the two of you done to
setting boundaries?
Okay.
And that is allowing, and it's a tough call because when you got somebody calling you from Australia or Japan,
different
and it's
time
12
zones.
hours different, you
Yeah.
got to take it when it's during their normal business hours.
Yep.
Hawaii right now, that's 5 hours different.
Yep.
And I have to be cognizant of that. When I call them at 8:30, 9 o'clock in the morning, it's 4 o'clock in the morning there. So I have to physically think differently. And so, when the phone rings at 10 o'clock at night, there may be that little comment, who is calling you at 10:30 at night? And I'll look at it. We don't have anything to hide. And it's like, yeah, it's Hawaii. It's only 4 or 5 o'clock there.
Yeah.
And
Has
so
it ever been like a girlfriend instead and you had to
yeah, no.
just kidding.
So yeah, we have to kind of set boundaries.
Yeah.
And every once in a while, I just won't answer because sometimes it might be an employee and they just need to think it through themselves.
Yep.
Give them a little bit. And by the time you call them back, they done figured it out.
Yeah.
You can't be there for every single little thing.
No, but don't you think you train people? Like, one thing I feel like as a business owner, you train your clients. If I take every call on a weekend and then the one time I don't, they're not grateful for all the times I did.
Exactly.
They're just mad that I didn't.
And kind of the same thing with your employees.
No, absolutely.
If you think training is expensive, try not training.
Yes.
It's 10 times more expensive.
Well, I just mean in the way in which we react to them, right?
Yes.
So,
yes.
like I said, like if you take a call every time your employee calls, the one time you don't.
Yeah.
So.
Well, but see, here's the other thing. I am, what's the word I want? I am consistent.
Yeah.
They know where I'm at.
Okay.
I know where they're at. They're on Life 360.
So
I don't shut off my location. What's that?
So they have your location too.
Yeah. They know I'm riding around in this Jaguar right now.
Oh, that is awesome.
So at any moment in time, hey, I see you're pretty close. Do you mind swinging by? I get that all the time. Can you swing over here and look at this and tell me I'm doing it right, or you're not going to like it or whatever? I literally had that conversation today. And I said, if you guys need me, you better figure out your stuff before 4 o'clock if you need some assistance. And they did. I says, between 4 and 5, I'm going to be unavailable. Figure it out.
Oh, that's good communication. Like you're giving them a heads up.
Oh, yeah. No, absolutely. I'm leaving for Atlanta to go visit my daughter that I've not seen in a couple of years. And so I told them in advance. I do what are called text to confirm. And when you need supplies, you go to Home Depot, you buy them. They text me and I confirm it. It hits my credit card. I can look at every single thing they buy. For the first time in 20 years, I let go of that.
Oh, wow.
And that was a very big step for me from a control / cost management thing.
Yep.
So I'm paying one of my employees. I'll just call it a bonus because if he screws it up, he doesn't get the bonus that week.
Okay.
But, I'll get 10 or 15 calls a day from Home Depot. Okay. We did almost $300,000-$400,000 worth of Home Depot purchases last year. And so, you got to stay on top of that. So that's one of the conversations.
Well, 10%, that's a huge, that's 40 grand you just lost.
Well, check this out. I have to have a conversation up front with every new employee, which I haven't had a lot because I have very stable people that are working with me. I don't pay for sodas. I don't pay for a Snickers bar. If you're hangry, you buy it. I don't want to see waters and everything else. And I don't pay for tools on here. Because if I do, one, Red Bull a day.
Yeah.
At $3 a Red Bull times 12 people is $36 a day.
Yeah.
Can you do the math
Yeah.
on a year? I
Yeah.
says, that is 2 car payments.
Oh, yeah.
So no. And so I let go of that for the first time
Okay.
a month and a half ago.
Okay.
And it's worked
It's working.
fantastic.
Awesome.
My guy gets an extra $50 cash bonus.
Okay.
All he has to do is take it. He looks at it. He'll call me and say, hey, Tony, did you approve this? And there's occasions, a lot of times I will pay for the tool, even though it's going to be your tool.
Yeah.
And I will take it out of your paycheck.
Oh,
My rule is you ask, don't assume.
Yes. Yes.
And so that was something that I have let go of, and my life has changed because now I'm not taking near as many daily phone calls on those. Good. So
yeah. All right. So how old are you?
62.
62. And I would imagine when would you consider yourself to have started working? 12, 13, 14. You seem like somebody that started
No, because I went to college.
Oh, you went to college?
Yeah, I have a degree in finance and economics.
Oh, wow.
Yep. I went to college, graduated high school in 1980, went to college at UNC in Colorado, and I started out as a delivery driver for Domino's Pizza. And then
no way. You worked your way up from being a delivery driver to a franchise owner?
5 stores.
Holy
yep,
shit.
I did. It's definitely a proud achievement.
Hell
I was a franchise consultant for 5 years, where I went in with franchisees in the entire state of Kansas, part of Missouri, part of Oklahoma, and helped them with business plans and put together bank statements and not really statements, but like for loans.
Yeah.
Their bank presentation. I helped individual franchisees do that. But I was also on a TV show with the world's fastest pizza makers. And I was on with Wasid Hamid in a Colorado show. So I literally did everything in between, kind of like I run my business now from top to bottom.
Yeah.
You know, I walked into the Domino's Pizza store in Belton, and I'd been out of it for 20 years. And I asked them if I could make a pizza. And they're like, you know how to do that? I'm like, well, I used to own some stores. I make them faster. In order to become a manager, you got to make a large pepperoni pizza from dough ball to ready to put in the oven in 60 seconds.
Wow.
With the slapping,
was
sauce.
Was Domino's the company that used to do the commercials showing the guys put the boxes together at just lightning speeds?
Oh, yeah. They were special boxes, and you had to be able to
flip them and
you had to be able to do, I believe, if I remember right, there was 50 boxes in a bundle, and you had to be able to put those boxes together in a certain amount of time before you could be a manager.
Wow. All right. So we're down to the last 5 minutes. And so what I'm trying to get at here is you've been working for a long time. You went to college, you got a degree in finance and everything. You worked your way up from a delivery driver to a 5-store owner, divorced, lost everything, started over. You got into this line of work. What's your exit strategy?
I would like to create more passive income, and that's going to be in some real estate holdings.
Okay.
But it's been very, very tough for me to pull that trigger because I see all the mistakes these other guys are doing.
Okay.
And I'd like to think that I wouldn't do those same mistakes.
Yep.
But I have some mentors that have just done fantastic with it, and their strategies have worked very, very well.
Okay.
And so I would like to be able to have a like and similar nest egg that provides that passive income. I don't have to work every single day.
Have you ever thought about taking all your knowledge and putting it together into an online course?
No, because I see a lot of those. There's people already on Facebook all over the place. Yep. I don't know that I am that photogenic, charismatic kind of person for the TV. I just don't see myself that way.
Okay.
Maybe somebody else may enjoy that, but I enjoy the in-person type of interactions.
Gotcha. So do you think the business that you have today, is that something you could sell to someone?
Well, funny you say that. What I'd love to do is reproduce myself in different markets. If I could find a mini me that could do like and similar, and I help set them up at a younger age
Okay.
and have them learn the trade of what I've done
Okay.
working with investors, because every single market has opportunities.
Yes.
Kansas City's not unique in any way, shape, or form.
No, I love, one thing I love about Kansas City is I feel like if you can figure it out and make it profitable here, you can do it anywhere.
Yeah.
It's like Wichita for restaurants. It's like the ultimate test bed.
There you go.
So, but you haven't put any thought or effort towards that yet, right?
No.
So how long do you think you could keep doing what you're doing right now?
As long as the body holds up, I'm good for at least another 5 to 7 years. Because I love what I do.
Yeah.
It is not hard for me to go to work every day. I love it.
All right.
I surround myself with the right people, the right tools, and the friends that, it works.
All right. So if I were to recap the things that I feel like have made you successful. One, it seems like you're constantly learning. You just added the LVLL, listen, validate, learn, and lead.
Mm-hmm.
You teach your employees to plan ahead. You carry that communication over into your relationship. You talk about being a team and having somebody that supports you, helping her understand that like you have to be available for your clients, especially due to the fact you have clients of all different time zones.
Well, and in fairness to it, she works in the dental field. You would think she'd be home by now at 6:41. She is still at work. She works 60 to 70 hours a week.
Holy cow.
So we are a team in that. I support her. She uses the office. It's in the home as well. And so she works at home 2 days a week and she works in the office 2 days a week.
All right. So if you were to leave one quick, concise message to all the different people that are out there that work in the trades and want to break out and get out on their own, become their own man, what do you think is the number one most important concept or ideal for them to carry forward?
Just do it. Be approachable, be respectable, be honest, be available, and put yourself out there.
And you said one other thing that I really liked, because I find it to be extremely important in life, and that's to be consistent.
Yes, absolutely. And if you have others with you, AKA employees or subs or whatever, you got to be accountable and responsible for whatever they do. Employees make mistakes all the time. You just got to eat it and move on.
Yeah.
And you can't make excuses for it. But being approachable and being available are probably the two most important things.
Yeah.
Short of this.
Make sure your employees carry a gun. I'm just kidding. I'm very pro gun. So
am I.
So one, I had to thank you for coming out and joining us today.
The pleasure was mine. I very much enjoyed this.
I love hearing from entrepreneurs and business owners, especially ones like you that have come from a varied background, right? I mean, everything from delivering pizzas to owning 5 pizza restaurants to doing what you do today. And so let's just end on, what's the name of your company again?
Special T Maintenance.
And
Play on words.
And the T stands for?
Tony.
I love it. All right. Tony from Backseat Ballers and myself, thank you very much.
Absolutely.
I appreciate your time.
I very much enjoyed it as well, gentlemen.
All right. Stay there. I'm going to open the door for you.
Now, this is the life right here. Somebody else opening my door.
That's right. That's right. All right. Hey, it's good to kind of get to introduce you to you guys. Yeah. I'm going to let you guys make the introductions. But I think you're really going to love what he does. And especially as an entrepreneur yourself, helping bring up that next generation, I just think is what it's all about. And I think it's what we really need in our school systems. And so working with middle schoolers and high schools all the way through to college, I just think that it's pretty fantastic. So I'll let you two step in here. I'm going to step out.
Great to meet you, man.
Elijah, good to see you.
Yeah, it's good to
I've
see
heard
you
a lot about you.
Oh, yeah, I've been working hard, man. I mean, thanks to Elliot, and then now you just like providing a gift. It's amazing. Yeah, the Iron Foundation, man, It's so simple. It's like a life skills-based program. It's everything that we wish we knew when we were younger, and we bring it into a program that helps kids find their purpose. They figure out their voice. They figure out how to manage their money. They figure out what business industry they want to go into. So we got cosmetology to construction to engineering, law, insurance, anything in a program that's designed to help those kids find their purpose. So we work with the entire greater Kansas City. And we're also, we got Emporia, Kansas out there too. So we have a few areas in Kansas City, Missouri, and Kansas City, Kansas that we're working with to basically make kids' dreams possible.
Yeah.
And that's basically the
Super
nonprofit.
cool.
Lead,
Super
encourage,
cool.
and motivate others to see themselves greater. I mean, it doesn't get any better than that.
No. We got to take care of the youth. Absolutely.
Yeah.
I'm actually going to step in here real quick, Tony, because one of the things that I also really like is like they have an entrepreneurial mindset. They teach leadership, they teach etiquette, right? And, it's kind of funny. I remember like I was 19 years old. I went and did this thing with my church, and that was one of the first classes they did. It was something as simple as etiquette, right? And bringing my son in to come work for me, 18 years old, that kid had no idea how to work a phone. And so it's just amazing to me. There's like these soft skills that I think due to technology and the lifestyle that we all live today, like we take for granted.
There's not a lot of interaction, human interaction.
Like real, like this kind of interaction.
Yeah.
And so, and I've had the pleasure of getting to meet 3 of the program.
Terrell, Cheyenne.
Awesome.
There was a funny time in my life, but it's so funny when Elliot was asking the questions. Terrell's kind of shy, but once we started asking more questions about the program, he perked up. It was like, yeah, this is what we do. I run the business. He has a clothing line business. So we have an opportunity to help him promote, but also teach him like business strategy and connect him to other, professionals that can basically make it happen. He just went off and like told Elliot everything.
When I started out in this business, that's one of the things I want to make sure is that my kids, all 3 of them, had a working knowledge of A, what dad did, but B, have some actual skills that they could take when they got older.
Yeah.
So every summer when they were out of college or whatever, I would dedicate one house and I'd work with an investor. Let's say you had one home and I say, let me do it for you at cost. You pay what I'm paying my kids, which was not enough, of course, but they would come in and we would do an entire house from carpet to ceramic tile to all the interior paint, all the exterior paint. And there were a lot of life lessons that we learned on that, to the point where I came back 8 hours later after giving them specific instructions. One of the kids, to remain nameless, was painting a closet with a paintbrush because everybody else was using the roller. So we learned some life lessons about asking questions. Can I go get a roller? Things that some of that younger generation doesn't put themselves out there to ask those kind of questions.
Because they always think it's one avenue. So like exposure is everything. You grant them that exposure, then imagine that exposure multiplied by 1,000 or 1,200 kids who get the chance of service. It's crazy. We even have a construction portion of it, which, I'm excited for what's about to happen because they're going to build a greenhouse. Small project, but big enough for the students to get their hand on a drill, learn the budgeting, the finance, their loss, their gains, all of that in there. The whole thing.
On Saturdays last year, we would go out with Habitat for Humanity, and I'd take my crew with me, and we would donate our time, and we would build houses for Habitat for Humanity. And we had the skills going on, and a lot of the other volunteers had no clue, but we all became great friends. And right now I'm Facebook friends with half the people that I work with on Habitat for Humanity, building other people's dreams.
This is great. You got to build the greenhouses, man.
Yeah,
and then we'll go to district to district and do more.
Yeah.
Because it's a small project, but the houses is so, one thing I've wrestled with all the time is like, how do we create an environment where the students can see themselves in it at all times, no matter the color, no matter the background, given everything that's going on? How do we do that? Because oftentimes they allow the problems in their life to like tell them where they're going to go.
You are a product of your environment sometimes. And if you don't disengage from that environment, I am in all of the environments from downtown, midtown hood to, the upper echelons and things, Independence, the entire metro area.
Wow.
So we're going to get out of here and go film because I have my daughter's orchestra.
Let's do it.
Man.
Elijah,
Thank
it's a pleasure as always.
Thank you.
Of course.
Hey, one of many. Hey, support this Iron Foundation. Elliot is doing great. And we're about to partner with my guy over here. It's going to be great, okay? Stay tuned for more. Yep, there we go. Hey, special maintenance.
Special
T maintenance.
What's the T stand for? Tony.
Oh, my gosh. I was about to say technical. That's how you know.
Names get remembered in this city for a reason. What you said in that seat, it's part of yours now. And whether they get it or not, Casey heard you. Backseat Ballers, where the ones who built it finally speak.